My name is Ellie Hoffman. I'm a past president of the Simsbury Women's Club, and I was co-chair of the Arts and Crafts Festival last year. Beside me is Madeline Gilkey, who is also a co-chair last year, and she's the chairman of this year's festival. We had a third co-chair last year, Jean Sumner. Jean, could you stand up and take a bow for all your help too? And every member in the room and every member that's not here today contributed in some fashion to the Arts and Crafts Festival. It's something that we all do in unison. It's a year-long project, and we're always proud of our results. Last year was our 45th annual festival. We had wonderful vendors. We had incredible weather. Both days were sunny and mild, so people could be out and about. And we had good crowds. The crowds seemed to enjoy the vendors that we had. We had a cross-section of vendors from all different attributes. We had artists, we had children's interest things, we had woolens, we had nursery, gardening kinds of things, so good distribution. As a result of that festival, we raised almost $23,000, part of which we'll be distributing this afternoon. In May, we have another luncheon at which we announce our scholarship winners. At that time, we'll be presenting $2,500 each to 2 high school graduates from Simsbury High School, $1,000 to a woman continuing her education, and another $750, no thousands, to another woman who is continuing her college education. These are all very worthy people. We want to thank everyone who made our show a success last year and who makes these awards possible. With that as a background, I'm pleased to turn the microphone over to Maddie Gilkey, who will address today's recipients. Maddie?
Before we start, there's one other thing that I want, and one other group, and one other entity that I want to thank for making our Arts and Crafts Festivals a success, and that's the town of Simsbury. I get teary over the town of Simsbury. I'm such a townie, it's ridiculous. But in any event, and if it weren't for the town and giving us the same venue year after year, which is, there's nothing like stability and sameness when it comes to putting on a show like this. It's just great. And so that being said, I do want to thank Lisa Hevener, who is here today. I'm always mispronouncing that. And also she's our first selectman, and another board member, Sherry Cook. Oh, sweetie, I got it right.
You did. So I've been introduced as Lisa Heavy in the past, so I'm really excited about being introduced as Lisa Hevener. So first of all, thank you everyone for being here today and for what you do every day. I think that our community is better because of all of you, because of what you do as volunteers. I think that volunteers do make the world go round. When you think about justice, when you think about humanity, it all starts with volunteers. What you do ripples across this community and makes us all better. And you're seeing the results of that today. Just looking around this room, it's really a pleasure for me as I look around this room, how many I know and how many I love. And I think Maddie's right. Sometimes when we think about the town, I like Maddie get a little for clump.
A little for clump.
Right. But the fact is, what is the town? The town is just us. Right? It's you and I doing what is best for you and I. It's looking out for each other, taking care of each other, trying to make the best of what we've got here and trying to leave the world just a little better than we found it. And I think all of you can take pride in having done just that. You started the year and actually your time of service throughout this with this group. And when you look back, I hope you see that you left us a little better than you found us. And that's something to take great pride in and something that makes me proud to represent you because this is a great community. People ask, what's it like to be the first selectman? It's like, I get to meet people like you who do so many great things. So thank you for including me in this and congratulations for your efforts and congratulations to those who are receiving the awards today. It's so well deserved. And it's just such a pleasure to be here. I was running a little late because I was getting an update on the status of the state budget. We won't go into that right now. But let me just say that last night, because we've been working Sherry and I have been working very hard on the budget. So last night I had cereal, so today's lunch was just awesome. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks,
I'll go on this one.
yeah. Okay, now to the business at hand. All right, I'm going to, let me just check how I'm doing this here. I'm going to read the applicant and also then call up the person who is going to be accepting. Is this okay? Can you hear all right? All right, the first presentation is to the Friends of the Simsbury Crew. Coach Ann Carabello, would you come up, please? Now, the boathouse, I'll let you have a turn in 1 second.
No,
Hey, tall girls, we have to stick
You
together.
bet we do.
Yeah. The boathouse was built in 1977 with a front door between the two main bay doors. In the mid-1980s, the door was covered over with stained plywood to match the building. Last year, officials from the town inspected the building and informed us that we needed a usable front door. We are looking to replace the original wood door with a steel door and steel frame as recommended by the Board of Education Supervisor of Buildings and Grounds. The boathouse is owned by Friends of the Simsbury Crew and used not only by students during the school year, but also by camps and rowing programs during the year. The Simsbury Women's Club is pleased to be making a contribution toward the purchase of a new door.
Thank you very much.
Can you say a few words?
I can say a few words.
Here you go.
All right. So my name's Ann Carabello, and I am the boys' head crew coach at Simsbury High. This is my 27th year. And when I left, the door was there, and when I came back and started coaching, the door was gone. And I didn't think anything about it. We'd put addition on, and there were other doors and et cetera. And we're in the middle of a large capital campaign. We just put a new metal roof on the boathouse. If you go down there, we kind of look a little bit like a Lincoln log because it's Hartford green and our building is brown. But it means we won't be replacing the log long after I'm gone, or not the log, the roof after I'm gone. So I'm happy about that. But when they did come down to inspect the building to make sure that it could handle a metal roof, he said, you know, you need a door. And I said, I have lots of doors. He said, no, you need like a real door. And I was like, I have real doors. He said, no, you need like an egress front door. And I was like, oh, I don't have one of those. So that's went into our capital campaign budget. So this is going to help purchase our new front door. So thank you very much for supporting me and all of the kids. We have 100 kids on the program, and they work really, really hard fundraising. I'm sure most of you have eaten crew grinders in your time here in Simsbury. So this will go to help with the capital campaign. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
Those grinders are the best. Our next recipient, Simsbury Library's Teen Center. And Sarah Ray, would you come up, please? Do I have that correct? Sarah Ray, yes. Hi. And who do you have with you?
This is Harry Dorr.
Oh, Harry.
From Teens.
Yes, your name is mentioned in here. Nice of you to come up. This is what Sarah told us in her application. The teens are asking for a WiiU. Do I have that correct? Yes. Oh, I'm so technology challenged. It's terrible. They're asking for a WiiU. They want to regularly host events at the library. Our first tournament, December 11th, brought in 42 teens and was organized and run by local teen DJ Harry D. It was a great leadership opportunity for him and a great experience for all the teen participants. We are hoping to try it again in February and then attempt a weekend-long one in April. The Simsbury Women's Club is delighted to be able to provide the library's teen center with their WiiU.
Thank you.
Say a few words?
Yes, that's fine. Hello, everyone. I've been the teen librarian for about a year and a half at the Simsbury Library. We're always trying different things to get the teens in. We do crafting and we have book clubs. And so when Harry asked to do some video game tournaments, we already have a Wii that is not as up to date as we would like it to be. And we have some games, but we were hoping to have more. So that's why we asked for the WiiU. And with the participation numbers that we had in December and then February, we had 39 come in. We were excited about getting this donation. So now I'm going to turn the mic over to Harry just to say a sentence or two. Thank you, Harry.
It was that many. Wow, I didn't. I didn't know that many people showed up. I wanted to thank the Simsbury Women's Club for giving us this check. I wanted to thank Sarah for helping me coordinate these tournaments. I say that all the time, and I don't say it enough. So thanks, Sarah. It's really nice that we have the opportunity to host these events for teens in our town, so that they can have a social experience in a safe place. And it's now that we have up to date hardware, it's even better. So.
You're going to be famous someday, DJ Harry. I can tell. All right, our next gift is to the Simsbury Community Television. I'm sorry. SCTV and Althea Greeny. Would you come up, please? In their request, SCTV told us that they would really make it would really make a difference for their operations if a special piece of equipment was obtained. And SCTV station manager Karen Hanville explained that, here's Karen, a wireless HD video that would enable SCTV camera operators to use their field cameras anywhere there is an internet connection. This would mean the ability to send a live signal from other locations in addition to Town Hall, allowing for live programming. The Simsbury Women's Club is proud to be able to provide SCTV with their much-needed wireless HD video. Here you go, Althea.
Thank you so
Say a
much.
few words. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this. Getting this piece of device will make it easy for people like me, you, anybody, to be able to do live broadcasting. Right now, it takes a laptop and an engineer to get that information out to you. And he's been doing all of our live broadcasting, such as the Board of Finance meeting last Wednesday. He does all those meetings now, and it would be nice to allow another volunteer to do that. So thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome. On to the next, Simsbury Community Farm. Diane Good, are you here? I'm going to start. In their request, Diane is the Executive Director, Gifts of Love and the Community Farm of Simsbury. Thank you. In their request, the Community Farm told us that they are in need of picnic tables for their new pavilion. They noted that the pavilion will be built this spring as soon as the weather warms up. The pavilion will be utilized in a variety of ways, including farm-to-table dinners, spring and fall festivals, inter-district field trips, and luncheons for our supporters. We are happy to be able to support your efforts in providing you with one of these picnic tables.
Thank you.
Whoops, I'm sorry, I've gotten...
You're going to give me two of those
I was
checks?
going to give
I was about to get your check in.
Did I have it right? I have it right. Here, sit if you...
He knows where I live. He's coming for that money. Thank you. We really appreciate this. I appreciate all of your support. I know a lot of you already know about the Community Farm of Simsbury. Some of you know more than I know about the Community Farm of Simsbury. So if I say something wrong or you want to add something, just yell out. So the Eno family donated the land to the town back in the 1800s, with the one restriction being they grow food for low-income people. So it used to be what's known as a poor farm. In the cities, there were poor houses. In the country, there were poor farms. So if a family couldn't take care of themselves, the husband went off to war, never came back, or was hurt in a farming accident, the family would all live together at the community farm and take care of each other. So that really is the spirit of the farm. When programs like disability insurance, food stamps, unemployment insurance started up, welfare started up, less of a need for poor farms. So the last of the technically poor rotated off the farm in 1977. So then it became the Town Farm Dairy, which was a nonprofit dairy farm. And when that went out of business, the town, Billings Forge, and Ethel Walker came together to start the community farm of Simsbury, with the real focus being on educational programs, summer camp food production, but they really needed to honor the spirit of that deed, which was to grow food for low-income people. So that's really where Gifts of Love came in. I've been at Gifts of Love for about 10 years. We've been working with the farm for about 7. What we did is we got funding for a seasonal person to help get produce into our food pantry. As we got busier, I was concerned about what we were giving out in our food pantry. I wasn't sure I would give my kids the food that was in there. So we really wanted to get healthier alternatives. And at the same time, the Community Farm of Simsbury had funding for a seasonal person to help with educational programs and also with food production. So I said to the Community Farm, you have money for a seasonal person, I have money for a seasonal person. How about we get together? We hire that person together. They can help with educational programs, summer camp. We can distribute the food to the Gifts of Love food pantry channels, Simsbury Social Services, Billings Forge, Favar. And so that's what we did. And we officially merged 2013, so a while ago. Seems like yesterday, but it was a while ago. And it's been wonderful for us, for our food pantry and for the farm. A lot of things are happening at the farm right now. We've been able to get funding for a number of improvements. One thing we got funding for is the educational greenhouse. We have every 4th grader in Simsbury come to the farm 4 times during the school year. They learn about where food comes from, what a healthy choice is. They learn about the 4 ecosystems that are at the farm, but they're paired with a 4th grade classroom from Hartford. So they also get to learn about each other. But when the weather's a little bit bad, we really don't have a lot of indoor space. So with an educational greenhouse, Farmer Jen, who's here with me today, can be teaching the kids inside that greenhouse. It's also going to extend our growing season. So we'll have produce at Simsbury Social Services and Gifts of Love further into the spring, further into the fall. And absolutely, the funding for picnic tables is going to help when we get our new pavilion. It's funny because one of the picnic tables we have right now is a picnic table that my parents donated, but it only has a bench on one side. So yay, Mom and Dad, that was really awesome. But it'll be great to have a picnic table with 2 benches. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Diane. Those of you that I've handed an envelope to, would you please check the front and make sure I've given you the right one, because these have kind of gotten jumbled here at the end. Okay, let me see. Now here's a face that I know pretty well. This request is from the Simsbury Housing Authority, and its Executive Director, Ed LaMontagne. Could you come up, Ed? In their request, Ed told us that they are in need of new benches. He said these benches would be utilized in front of the Virginia Conley residence by the residents while waiting for transportation. Our recent benches are all old and worn out due to the weather. The new benches are made of recycled plastic and will hold up to weather for a longer period of time. The Simsbury Women's Club is very happy to be able to support the Virginia Conley residents by providing 2 new benches.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to introduce Kay Coffey. Kay is a resident of the Virginia Conley residence. She is also on our Board of Commissioners. I told Kay I was taking her to lunch today. She thought we were going to the 1820 house. So I do owe her one. I also want to acknowledge Sherry Cook. Sherry is not only on the Board of Selectmen, but she's also on the Housing Authority Board of Commissioners. And of course, Nancy Fossum, if you do not know, Nancy was the first executive director of the Simsbury Housing Authority.
Our Nancy.
Yes, yes.
Long time.
So the Housing Authority has been in existence since the early 70s. We're located up in the north end of town, across from Necker's Toy Store. We provide affordable housing. We have 110 units of affordable housing on 2 properties. Our Dr. Owen L. Murphy property has 70 units for individuals 62 and older, or individuals with disabilities. Our Virginia Conley residence is a congregate residence. It has 40 units for 40 residents. And the congregate is that we provide 24-hour security, we provide lunch, and it's the best lunch around with the exception of this one. Thought I might mention that. And we have light housekeeping, and we also provide social recreational programs for residents. Now, 2 benches doesn't sound too exciting, but when you're in your 80s and 90s and you're outside waiting for a dial ride, trust me, you want to sit down. So we wanted to provide an opportunity for our residents to do that. The Housing Authority is also going to be adding some additional monies because we are going to add pavers to the area. We're going to do some landscaping, and then with the dollars from the Simsbury Women's Club, we're going to buy 2 nice benches for our residents to utilize while waiting for a dollar ride or for other rides that to come pick them up. So on behalf of the Simsbury Housing Authority, I want to thank you very much, and we appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you. And finally, we had a request from a group that is called Veterans Oasis, which stands for Operation Academic Support for Incoming Service Members. And let me hear, Karen. Karen DeBary is a Tunxus professor and the veterans mentor. Karen, would you come up, please? You're here, right? I know, because I met you. I feel like I'm here, and you can talk. Now, Karen's request stated that some of our greatest needs involve purchasing food for our Oasis and gas cards or bus fare for our veterans who are experiencing financial hardship that could interfere with their pursuit of an education. Every day, in addition to snacks, I supply free coffee and breakfast items, and upwards of 20 veterans a day spend time in the Oasis. A donation would make it possible to purchase $10 and $20 Stop and Shop gift cards, which could be given to our student veterans for food or gas as needed. Our veterans are very appreciative of the support from our local communities, and they welcome visitors to our Oasis anytime. The Simsbury Women's Club is honored to be able to support the efforts of the Veterans Oasis by providing funds to purchase these gift cards. And here to accept the gift is Karen DeBary, and she'll tell us a little bit more about what they do.
Thank you so
There you
much.
go, Karen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for inviting us here to your lovely luncheon. And on behalf of the veterans at Tunxus and myself, and 2 of our veterans are here today, Nelson Algren, who is the president of our Veterans Club, Tony Gabriel, who is our vice president, and Mark and Tracy Melanson. I truly thank you for your generous donation to our Oasis. Now, I know a little bit about your process. I was a member for a lot of years of the Farmington Junior Women's Club, and I know how much work you all put in to raising your funds. And I also know at the end, when we have our meeting on how to disperse our funds, there are so many worthy organizations. So I'm really grateful that you have chosen us, the Tunxus veterans at the Oasis, to donate to this year. It's very appreciated. Our Oasis, which you all know what it stands for now, started in 2009, and I believe the Simsbury Women's Club was part of it because in 2009 it was the state project for the General Federation of Women's Clubs. It was a 2-year project, and Simsbury, we had Farmington, Bristol, and Plainville were also a part of the one at Tunxus. But after 2 years, the project was done, so we lost that support. But during those 2 years, I realized how important that Oasis was, so I decided to kind of take up private fundraising. So the college does not support us at all for our daily operations. Everything that we do comes from generous donors like yourselves. So without that, I couldn't do anything that we do in there. When I spoke with Nancy and we talked about the need, I was finding that more and more of our veterans were having difficulty getting to school. I mean, they are college students, but in order to be a student, you needed to physically come to the college. So I had started giving out bus passes. Some people would have hard times making ends meet, so there were gift cards. Now, about a month ago, I gave out my last bus pass, so this is perfect timing. So I'm going to be able to go and purchase more gift cards for our veterans to use to come to school. So once again, thank you so much. And I know that Nancy said, I have 2 veterans here, and they weren't planning to talk, so I kind of caught them off guard. But, they may just be able to talk a minute so you can get an idea of maybe what goes on in our Oasis and, what it actually means to the people. I mean, I could talk about how I love the place, but if it doesn't work for them, then it's not working.
Yes, as Karen said, my name is Nelson Algren. I am president for the Veterans Oasis and Veterans Community at Tunxus Community College. She's explained most of the history there, but it's much more than that in terms of providing food and bus passes. It's really made an impact as a community for veterans, because I'm sure as many of you know people that are veterans. The hardest part for veterans coming home is adjusting to being back in the civilian world, being able to interact with regular civilians who are not on the same mindset as veterans are when it comes to the way they think, the way they act. And especially now with veterans coming home from Afghanistan, Iraq, it's very hard for them to find a place where they belong. And especially when they want to pursue things further in their career, going to college, becoming whatever it is they decide to do with their career after leaving the military. And it's hard for them to find a place to belong in the college environment, because young college students coming out of high school, going straight into college, they don't think the way that veterans do. So the Oasis really provides that community for them to go somewhere where they're in the same environment they're used to, being able to talk to veterans who understand the things, understand how they feel, and just it helps not only with college resources, it works as a man in the middle for getting out to the VA and other sources to help them get the medical treatment they need, or to get any other sort of help they need financially, or in terms of where they need to go if, say, they want to look into getting a loan or something. It provides more than just the food and the bus passes. It's a central area for them for any questions they have. And it helps us. We work off of each other. Veterans helping veterans in my experience, has been the number one way to help each other out. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of doing this on the fly here.
You're doing very well.
Thank you. And that's been the biggest meaning. I mean, I wasn't there when it first started. I started at Tunxus Community College back in 2012, and I was going through quite a lot of issues. I was just out of the military. I lost 2 friends of mine while I was in the service, and that was something I was still carrying over my shoulders, and to this day I still do. But I had no one to really talk to about it. I had no one to really go and lean on when it came to those times where I was really struggling. And Karen, as well as so many other veterans there, have been such a big part of helping me adjust. And now here I am standing on my last semester at Tunxus, getting ready to leave, and it seems like it's just yesterday I was just walking in. And it's just been a phenomenal journey for me. And there's no other words that can describe how helpful it is. And I thank you guys so much for your help in taking part in that, because you really have made a difference. It may not seem like much, but you've made a very huge difference in helping veterans who are coming home to be able to adjust to being civilians again and going further in their lives and in their careers. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nelson. I have so much more to talk about now. My name's Tony Gabriel. I spent 4 years in the 82nd Airborne down at Fort Bragg. I did 2 tours in Afghanistan, and he's absolutely right. In World War II, there was a 12% population of veterans that were spread about the United States. Currently, as we stand, over the past few years, we dropped below 1%. We are so segregated, and we have no one to go to. A lot of family members aren't either soldiers. There's a lot of things we don't like to talk about. And we don't feel comfortable about talking about it with other people who couldn't possibly understand. There are many traumas and things that go along with it, and Karen has built us a sanctuary where we can speak freely and feel without persecution. Thank you very much for all that you've done.
Nice. Very nice comment. Nice success. Thank you. Well, that wraps up our presentation portion of the event. Anytime I stand up at something like this, it's a meeting. I do want to point out that there is a flyer for this coming year's Arts and Crafts Festival. And it is going to be held in, here we go. Didn't think I saved one for myself. It's the 46th Annual Arts and Crafts Festival. And it is going to be September 17th and 18th, 10 to 5. Rain or shine, same location, Iron Horse Boulevard. We are so lucky to have that location. And there's over 100 juried artists and craftspersons. There's food, drink, and baked goods. The Valley Collector cars are on display. That's always a fun thing to see. It's free admission, free parking, and your support makes it possible to award scholarships and these gifts that we have given out today. And we so appreciate all that you do to promote us. And I want to thank you all for the work you do, all of you, recipients, including our members. I want to thank you all for the good work that you do and contributing to the quality of life of so many. Thank you. Now, I do want to say one last thank you, and that's to Karen Handfill from SCTV for taping this program. Thank you all, and go with good health.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.